Right, hello there, everyone. Welcome back to James Redmond TV, and welcome to another Redmond Roundup. Woo! Right then, so we've got a Newcastle preview, and it's going to be interesting because I feel like this is going to be... Do you know back in the 90s when it was like Newcastle, Liverpool, and that was guaranteed box office football? I think it's going to be like that again. It's kind of like... whenever you tune into... Do you know what? I actually want to say something as well. Rest in peace to Bray Wyatt, one of the most boxed office wrestlers of all time. The reason why I brought that up out of nowhere is because, one, he sadly passed away today, and I didn't even mention it on my stream earlier, so I wanted to mention it there. Second of all, he was box office. He was certified Bray Wyatt, so big up to him, and I do hope his family's okay, but I feel like this game has the potential to be that. In this preview, we're not only going to predict the score, we're not only going to spoil the lineup, we're going to be doing everything in between, analysing how Newcastle might set up and all of that good stuff. So smash a like and subscribe if you enjoy the previews, and let's get into the first thing. So I feel like the first thing is about injury updates, so who can start and who can't start. First and foremost, there won't be good news for a lot of you guys, because right here it says from Neil Jones, Klopp says, and this was confirmed in the press conference, Thiago and Curtis Jones should return to training on Monday. So they're back post Newcastle, meaning they're not available. And then Ibrahim Konate is out for the Newcastle game. The good news is, with the likes of Trent, who wobbled off the last game, he's going to be available, which is great, because if he weren't available, then Connor Bradley would have been getting a nice little Prem debut, if he hasn't played in the Premier League already. I'm not too sure. But yes, I feel like that's a big shame that we are going to be missing Konate, and I feel like it reinforces that urgency for the centre-back. And I think that's something that we can all agree, is that a centre-back is something that we've been lacking. And if you are an avid watcher of my streams, then you'll absolutely know I've banged on about a centre-back all summer. You've banged on about a centre-back all summer, and so have our mothers. So it's one of those things where I think everyone kind of knows, everyone understands that we do need one. But overall, we still need to do a heck of a lot more when it comes to actually being efficient in this window and actually getting these players over the line. But so with the injury news in mind, let's get into the lineup prediction. So if I just share that screen with you guys so you can see how I'm going to line up here. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Now, this is not what I wanted to do. I'm back. Right. So first and foremost, I feel like it's easy to go with everything else. Let me just get rid of some of these adverts, because I should really get an ad blocker, to be fair. But hey, we'll work with what we've got. In goal, goals without question, mate. Let me get the obvious ones out the way. You go with Robertson at left back. Then right back, you go with Trent Alexander-Arnold. Not even a question. I feel like some people thought he might have been in this area, but no, he'll be right back. Centre back. So, well, we know Virgil's going to play. He won't play right centre back. He'll play left sided. But who's going to play right sided centre back? It's either going to be Matip or Gomez. If I have a preference, I always go with Matip over Gomez. But you never know with Matip's age, and he's not really going to be a part of the plans beyond next season. Joe Gomez might be beyond the plans next season. So therefore, I think Klopp might start edging Gomez more often in games. I just think that based on the fact that he's got more of a long-term deal at the club, and Matip will probably be gone next year. I think if it was a Joel Matip or Joe Gomez option, Klopp will think of the long-term and think, well, that's our long-term centre-back. So although I disagree with it, and although there's a big possibility that my logic is very, very flawed there and that it will not make sense at all, that's what I'm going to go with when it comes to the back four. So Robertson, Gomez, Van Dijk, Trent. Now the midfield. We know that Bajcetic is available for this game, but I'm not doing what I would do. I'm doing what the manager, or what I think the manager will do. I don't think I would even go with Bajcetic, but I understand completely if the manager wanted to, because Thiago's not available. And as we still have, we've got Enzo. Does Enzo get his first game as a CDM? That's definitely a possibility. I was actually going to go with McAllister again, just because that's what Klopp's persisted with, and Enzo's still new. It's McAllister or Enzo. You know what? I'll go out on the line and go with Enzo. I feel like Klopp has bigged up Enzo so much that he'll go with him. But I just have this weird feeling that he might stick with McAllister in midfield. It's weird. But if that is the case, if he does go with Enzo, then it's no doubt the man who got overturned, or the red card got overturned for McAllister. He's going to go left centre mid, right centre mid. I'm going to go with the best player in our team at the moment, man. Like Szoboszlai. So not a bad team so far. Certainly has more balance than previous teams. The back line's looking a little bit weaker with Joe Gomez, but otherwise we can't complain. Front three. And also, actually, I think Joe Gomez might do well in this new system, but at the same time, he has a lot of attributes that can be easily exposed in this system, so that's important. But anyway, front three, got to be Luis Diaz. He's been the man on form this season. I'll do right winger first. I feel like that's the most obvious one. Mo Salah at right wing. And then I think the striker is the one that's most open for debate. I think a lot of people will probably have a question on Nunes. He's raising a lot of eyebrows at the moment, and a lot of people haven't been pleased with Diogo Jota thus far. And maybe some people would exercise Gakpo. And I believe I might have even predicted Gakpo to start in this position in the last game, but Klopp persisted with his guns and put Gakpo left centre mid. So what I am going to do, I'm going to stick with Jota. I'm going to be safe. I feel like he's going to stick with him. He could go with Gakpo. I think Klopp has realised he can get a real tune out of the team if Gakpo's there, but otherwise I'm not too sure. But that would be my 11. The ones that I'm unsure about is Endo. If it's not Endo, I think it'll be McAllister. And maybe, just hypothetically, if I was to change my mind, who would go left centre mid? You could look at Bajcetic. You could look at Gakpo remaining. Because the question that you've got to ask, it's Gakpo or Endo, or it's Gakpo or Jota. That's the question. And I don't think he's going to drop Gakpo. So you could easily, I can move this about, get on me. No, you could very easily put McAllister CDM and you could put Gakpo there again, because Gakpo was fine against Bournemouth. He weren't so fine against Chelsea. But I'll go with that lineup. I feel like Klopp is waiting for everybody to see the unveiling of Endo. So I feel like he might go with that one. And let me know if you agree with that lineup. I feel like it's a tough one to predict this early on in the season. But as I do sell the show, it's a spoiler, not a prediction. That's just the way it is. I stole that one off Paul Heyman. Right, let me steal this information regarding Newcastle's team going into the game this season. Probable lineup, odds, and all that juicy stuff. So first things first, who's injured? These are the injuries. In fact, am I on the right screen? No, I'm friggin' no. Boom. So as we can see by the injuries, if I just zoom in and spaghetti beat, I'll do it. Why is it not zooming in? There we go. We are flying. So yeah, you can see here, you've got Javier Manquillo, former Red, up the fucking Manquillo, mate. Kraft, Joe Linton, and Joe Willock. So some midfield options missing there for Newcastle, which is definitely vital information, considering that the midfield has been one of our weaker points in recent times. But they've still got the majority of their starting players and starting midfielders. I don't know. I mean, Joe Linton and Joe Willock seem doubtful, so they could still be available. For us, it's Thiago is out. Stefan Bajcetic is apparently out. I thought Stefan was available. I thought he was available. I think who scored is lying there, unless there's some new information I don't know about. Curtis Jones is out, and Trent Alexander-Arnold was doubtful, but is no longer doubtful. And I believe the same might be the case with Joe Linton, because I haven't heard anything about him being injured. And yes, based on the probability line up here from who scored, they think they think Joe Linton will start. So if we analyse the probable lineup for us, it's very similar to mine. In fact, it's the exact same as mine. This happened last week with Bournemouth as well. They've put Endo in the team, but they just put him left centre mid. But then you look at the Newcastle team. Formidable defence. Fabian Schär's found some recent form, or some really good form in recent time. Botman as well. He's been a top-class centre-back for Newcastle. One thing I'd go and encourage you to watch is the combined 11 between me and Matty that we did the other day. It was quality. But yeah, that back line's quality, and then that midfield competes with the best of the best midfields in the Premier League based on balance. You've got Sandro Tonali, who's already scored in black and white, Bruno, who's been a revelation for Newcastle, and then Joe Linton, who I was mocking Joe Linton not too long ago, whereas now if you look at him, he's actually belter chat. I feel like he's got a bit of a shinger to his game. And then a front three that consists of the legend Almiron, shout out to Jack Grealish, the man himself. So the Newcastle fans call him the next Thierry Henry. Don't know if I agree with it, but I like Isaac. He's quality. And then Gordon, left wing. Fun fact. I've said the fun fact a loads of times. I went to school with him, in case you didn't know, but I always say it, so it sounds a bit forced now, so I'm just going to stop it. Anyway, that's their probable lineup. It's one that, of course, I fear. You can never not fear the aspect of Eddie Howe as well. He's a quality manager. But a fun fact, Jurgen Klopp has beaten no other manager more than he's beat Eddie Howe. He's beat him 11 times in his career. Obviously, the one infamous time where Eddie Howe got Jurgen Klopp's number was the 4-3 Bournemouth win when we were winning 3-1. And then we got absolutely bummed by a team who got relegated and have a 5,000-seater stadium. I was fucking fuming. But yeah, there's a few more of the things as well. Average ratings according to who scored. This is all who scored ratings. And for those who are also interested in a further insight, these are some of the odds as well on the game, even though I don't promote betting, so F that. Score prediction based off of all that lineup, and and their team, I'll probably edge Liverpool to win. I don't know why, because nobody beats Newcastle away from home. And I certainly don't know why, because we haven't even got a fully guaranteed established CDM. Enzo, yes, but world class, we don't know. We don't know if the midfield trio of Sobo, McAllister, and Enzo works. So therefore, I'll be edgy and I'll say 2-1, kind of like a shithouse win, like what we got at Anfield last year when Fabio Carvalho got the last-minute goal. Let me know your score predictions and your starting lineups in the comments down below, and how do you feel about KONATE not being available for this game? A little bit all over the place, but we got there in the end. Hopefully you enjoyed the preview. If you do, smash a like, and just know there will be another stream roughly around 8:15, 8:30, if you want to tune into that tonight on JRTV. That'll be a banger. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see you all later. Sayonara!